A2, not collapsible, but it's pretty close. You can see we've already got the trigger guard. We're going to do the buffer tube, which is this part. There's several parts we'll go over when we get here. So let's get going. Let's come on up here and take a look. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the rear tank down. This one you do want to line up. It has a nice little notch in it like the pivot pin did. So we're going to line it up facing rearward, just like that. We're going to take that other detent. Make sure we got at least one side, it's got a nice pointy side. We're going in from the back. See that? Okay. So put that in there. We're going to take the flippy spring, the weak one, and it's going to stick out a little bit. Okay? Yes. You're going to have your buffer tube detent and spring. There's a hole right here inside the threading and it just sits in there. You'll take your buffer tube. This is what's called a castle nut. And you want you can kind of see it looks like the top of a castle, your figure. So you want that facing rear because that's how we're going to tighten this thing down with a wrench. So just put it on your buffer tube and bottom it out. Then you're going to have your plate. If you notice there's a dimple on the one side, it's not on the other. And on the back side of the, I'm putting a little pressure on it when I'm doing it. And there it went. You hear it? Wow. Okay. Now I know it's not cross-threaded. So you've got a little bit of room before you get close to the spring. Screw your castle nut, pull that plate off, and then put your castle nut back on. And just kind of do that, keep it all in one piece. So the first thing you're going to do is your rear takedown pin. Then you're going to do the detent spring. Then you're going to do that buffer tube detent and spring. And then you start screwing your buffer tube in there.
Go all the way.
The whole reason to get another seat? Fill it up. Nipples on the outside. Outside. Alright. Okay. This little bigger. Not this one, that's the spring. Oh, wait a minute.
Your rear takedown first. And then from the right. Remember, everything is right to left.
I love
You
that.
learn to do everything only one way. Okay, go ahead and rotate that groove to the rear so that it'll automatically engage. Okay, now put your detent, little copper, little brass piece. There you go. Put your detent in. Okay, and then put your detent spring in right here. It's good. There is a
I think that's
All right, you're good there. And then put your buffer tube, detent, and spring in.
Like off in the center?
Yep, that's right. That goes on top of it. You can do that as one piece or separately.
Okay.
Put your castle nut with the castle nut on first. So make sure they're just like that. Yep. coming out. V10 pin and V10 spring. Good job.
Thanks.
I got the spring. It's okay, I'd rather flop out than you've been at. Yeah, it's going.
Butt stuff back on.
Looks like you got the back.
Same way you took it off, this all the way down, same way you put it on.
Now it's going to touch further.
It should slide back and forth to the position.
You just screw a long, it's like so much.
Then my.
What I like to do is take this off of that. Take a little drop over there.
A little bit, that's fine, straighten this
It'll
up.
make it slide a little better for you.
You need to take a punch and straighten it up a little bit.
The receiver's done.
Slide. Slide.
Nice. Hold that up there again. Sweet.
No. Back off.
Hold down this a little bit.
Here, all I got now.
Probably gonna be kind of a little bit tight, but it's not too bad.
Yeah,
It's pretty well straight, which is good. Now we're gonna take our tool here.
Good.
Basically tighten this down. There's 3 little grooves there. There you go. Gotta kind of hold it in there as you're tightening it. We'll take our little hammer. I would go back up here on the top. And this here, now take this little hammer, tap it down in there.
We were all over there. Take the bubble out.
It's good. Now we're gonna put our butts. Same way we took it off, same way we put it on. Pull this down.
We're gonna go over a little bit.
And then now you push it in and move your positions. There you go.
Okay, and this.
Is everybody good? Sure, or you're trying to, if you're ever gonna take one off, and you're like, man, I just can't get this off, let me put it in the vise and crank on it. Do not do that. Put heat on it. Okay, you put a little heat on that, just take a little torch and just put a little heat on this tassel nut and it will liquefy whatever thread locker they have on there, and then you can pull it off. But if you start cranking on this thing, there's a good chance that you're gonna strip the threads and you'll ruin, at best, the bumper tube, at worst, your lower. So, if you meet a lot of resistance, put a little heat on that, and heat is a torch, not a hair dryer. So, all right, everybody together? Let's take the shaft. If you notice, there's a little seat clip.
Yep.
Okay. If you take that off, you will never find it. Really, that's a fail-safe, and I'll show you what the fail-safe is later. You have the spring, and then the ejection port cover itself. So you want to do this before you do anything else, and you will bring this in. With the C-clip will be facing muzzle down. This is the inside of the ejection port cover. The somewhat smooth side's the outside. So I'll loosen this up so you guys can see all directions here. But all you're going to do is get it started. I'll walk this around for you guys to look at. Okay. So all I'm doing is starting it right here, And then I'm gonna go a little less than halfway. That's fine, you see that? A little less than halfway. Actually, right there. All right, now, let's try it. Yeah, I'm coming here. Now, you have a short side and a long side. If you look at the bottom, what happens is a long side will lay inside this little crease right here. Okay? So we're going to slide this on. And if you look, as the spring comes off the coil, it lays in that crease. See how it lays down in the crease? Okay. Back in the old days, we had to do with this and spinning around and keep your mouth held just right. Keep tension on here.
Oh, wow.
All you're doing is, of course, I just let go of it. So, well, what's easy, let me start this again. You're going to go facing the front of the gun, you're going to go clockwise. Y'all won't be doing that.
See, you can do this at home.
Yeah.
If you notice, there's a groove in the barrel nut, and that's what the snap ring will lock into. I'll do this real quick, just to kind of give you an idea how this thing, why it does what it does. That snap ring goes in that groove, and you want to make sure it's in there. So this is what holds all this together. So your delta ring will go on first. If you notice it's flared, the skinny part goes forward. There's notches. And if you notice even in your delta ring, see a little hole at the top? That's for your gas tube. There's a slot in your weld spring. You don't have to get them lined up, but it makes life simple at this point. We can line them back up later. And all you do is you take that snap ring and you come right on top. Compress that weld spring. You have to keep your thumb on it, so I got my thumb on it. Make sure it seats in that groove, and you're good. Now it's under spring tension. That allows you to remove the handguard and it keeps it under tension. So, good? All right, let's put it on. Push it in on the reference pin right there, so it's in the middle of the
Take some elbow muscle.
It'll go so far that it'll just spin around. You gotta figure it out.
Just a regular solid wrench, right? And that's the tool that you use for.
That's a, yeah, that's a regular torque wrench.
Barrel nut.
And you can get
No,
that at
barrel
Brownells.
nut. Wrench. What's that?
You get that at Brownells.
This one
No.
didn't come from Brunel's.
That, the guy that put on our last advanced armor class, he patented that. And it's like $75 for one of those. But most of them, and I brought one, most of them only have 3 pins. And what happens is this distributes the force a little more equally over more of those teeth. Oh, you break teeth. The longer you do this, you will break teeth. There's just no way to. We were breaking them in class. So, happens.
He patented this one and not a 3-tooth one, is that right?
Yes, correct.